Hey guys, it's Alice again. So today's video is another video in my little university series. I have now completed first year and I am just about to go into second year in September, and I am kind of scared, but I decided I'm going to film a little university survival guide for you. I've got a few tips, a few things that I've kind of picked up. I'm not trying to tell you that I'm an expert, but these are the little things that I've done, and I think they've kind of helped me get through my first year and survive freshers. So let's just get into it. Also, if you aren't subscribed to my channel, I will be uploading videos through my entire time at university. I've already got loads on a playlist, so if you haven't already seen them, I'm going to link them here. And if you subscribe, you'll be able to see my new room in September and loads of fun things, so don't forget to press that subscribe button. So the first tip that I have to say, to me, is one of the most important, is budget your money. Because money is not a fun thing. I'm guessing at the age of going to university, like, I didn't really have any experience of having to budget. Like, I didn't really have any bills to pay for or anything like that. But when I got there, I realised how little money I had. My accommodation was super duper expensive because I applied so late and I kind of didn't have another choice. And that ate up my entire student loan. So I basically had to fend for myself. I know some people's loans, they end up with like spare money, which is amazing, but you really do need to budget that spare money. So what the best thing to do is probably to take out some cash at the beginning of the week. So go to a cash machine, work out how much cash you can spend per week and take out the cash. And then just allow yourself to spend that cash. Don't use your card, because when you can't see the money disappearing and going down, like when you're spending on a bank card, it kind of makes you spend more without realising, or at least it does to me. So I know that when I have notes in my purse, it kind of hurts for me to spend them because I can literally see them going down. So that was a really cool tip that one of my friends actually told me when I first started. Take out some cash at the cash machine and then you're less likely to spend it, especially on a night out. Try not to take your bank card on a night out, because you're probably going to get a bit excited. You're going to think, yes, I've just got my loan, I'm rich, I'm going to spend all my money, I'm going to buy you a drink, and you a drink, and you a drink, and then you're going to get to like 2 weeks before you get your second instalment of your loan and you're going to be absolutely poor and you're going to be living off like rice. Literally, that's happened to some of my friends. So do try and budget. It's very hard, I understand, but if you can, sit down and work out how much you can afford per week, and then you can kind of tally it and balance it out over the semester. On the topic of going out, something kind of related to that is drinks. Like, the drinks are obviously the most expensive part of a night out, so I advise pre-drinking. Having some drinks beforehand so you're tipsy enough to go out, and then you don't need to spend as much money in the clubs, because I don't know about you, but in Lincoln the drinks are pretty expensive and it kind of pains me to pay the price. So I'd rather just drink beforehand, and then I rarely ever buy a drink when I'm out because I don't want to spend my money. I didn't really have any money to spend, so that was the way I did it. It's much cheaper to go and buy your own alcohol from the shop and drink it beforehand than buy it from the club. On to food. One thing I learnt very quickly on was don't shop when you're hungry. We used to go to the supermarket like every other day, and we always ended up spending so much money in the supermarket because we'd go when we were desperate and we'd run out of food. Don't ever do that. Try and go before and try and eat before you've gone, because if you go to the supermarket when you're hungry? If you go when you're hungry, you're literally just going to want to buy everything on the shelf, and most likely you're never going to pick anything up that actually would make a meal or would be very practical. Yeah, you probably want that giant packet of like Oreo Dairy Milk chocolate bar, but you also need like cereals and dinner. So try not to shop on an empty stomach. Honestly, it's a bad thing. I got very hangry whilst I was walking around the supermarket shopping on an empty stomach, and it wasn't nice. You don't want to see hangry Alice. On the topic of food, one thing that I really enjoyed and helped me was a little recipe book. My mum actually wrote down some of her recipes that she uses. One, because I knew how to make them, but I always had to ask her, so she just wrote them down so I knew and could do it myself, and two, because it reminded me of home when I made them, so it's kind of a nice way to incorporate stuff that you have at home. So if your mum does cook, or your dad, or someone in your family, ask them to write some recipes down that you usually have in your house and that you can follow easy enough. It was so nice just to have like a really nice home cooked meal, and I felt so good when I'd made it myself, because usually it's my parents. And make sure you actually practice making them before you go to uni as well, because you're going to get there, think you're all prepared with your little recipe book, and you might have a word in there that makes no sense whatsoever. So I literally sat and like made loads of dinners with my mum so that when I got to uni I could cook for myself, and my friends in my flat were always pretty jealous actually of what I ate, because I could cook pretty decent meals, to be quite honest, and I was very happy. I wasn't hungry ever again. Kind of on the scale of cooking is cleanliness. All I'll say is living in student accommodation, if you're sharing with other people, it's gonna get messy, it's gonna get gross. I've had this experience, it's not very nice. So what I would say, if you're not a very tidy person, or if you are living with people that aren't very tidy, is to clean up as you go. So, I don't know, say like if I've grated some cheese onto a toastie and then I'm putting the toastie in the toastie maker, like I'm just going to wipe up the cheese and put up the mess in the bin and put the cheese back in the fridge straight away. Just clean up as you go. I've heard something called the 30-second rule. If it takes less than 30 seconds, just do it straight away, because if not, you're just going to have with pots and pans and everything everywhere, and it's just going to get worse, and then you're not going to want to do it at all, and then the flat's going to look really gross. And I've experienced that. It's not very nice. Even in your bedroom, just clear up as you go. If you've taken off your underwear and chucked them on the floor, pick them up, put them in the wash bin, and then you don't have to deal with that later. It's hard, and usually a lot of the time at home your mum will come and clean up after you, and that's great, but unfortunately at uni that doesn't happen. So yeah, just try and clean up as you go, and then it just makes your life a whole lot easier and you don't have a big industrial mission to do at the end of the day. Now onto the work topic, and I feel like this is something that everyone's parents has probably told them, and I'm going to tell you as well. Please don't leave your work to the very last minute. I am that person in my class that gets my work done very early, and I know that's quite rare at uni because a lot of people just leave it till the end. They think they have loads of time, but I am in fact the person that everyone is jealous of at the end and near the deadlines, because whilst they're all cramming stuff in the library and trying to get it done and freaking out, I'm just chilling, I'm having a great time, I'm just like enjoying my last few days, and I'm all done. I can understand how annoying that is for people that can't get the work done and can't get motivated to do that, but I do it. It's like when you were a kid, when you used to come home with homework and your mum used to say, do it straight away that night. Honestly, like, we have to listen to them sometimes, and it really does help. Please, just for me, try and do all your work as soon as you can. Try and like prioritise that over some other things like socialising first, and then you can go out and socialise as much as you want when you finish. It's all about balance. On the note of socialising, please do remember to go out and socialise. I know quite a few people probably don't need telling this, but I'm the kind of person that will sit in my bedroom for days and probably not question it. I'm really bad at going out and socialising. I don't know why. I think it's some kind of anxiety in me or awkwardness, but I just don't go out and socialise. And I made a really hard effort to try and socialise in second semester, and honestly it paid off so much. I had so much fun, so much more fun in second semester than I did in first, because I was actually balancing my work and like social life out at the same time. I would reward myself with doing my work with going out and seeing my friends. It is really, really important. Even if you're a bit of a recluse and you like spending time by yourself, force yourself to go and socialise, because it's going to pay off in the end. You're going to have a really solid group of friends, people that you can rely on, and you're just going to have a good time. Like, honestly, I've had the best times at uni, and I'm already so excited to go back in September to see everyone. And one final thing, this is just something to do before you go to uni, is to connect with your university on social media. I don't know about every university, but I know a lot of them usually have Facebook groups or pages related to uni, and then people tend to make groups specifically for the freshers. So like Lincoln had their own little 2015 freshers group, and we all got added to it. And then as well, my accommodation had one too. That's a great tip, because you can find your flatmates before you actually get to university. You can find some course mates before you get to university. There's just so many different ways you can connect with people, so that when you get there on the first day, it doesn't feel like you don't know anyone. You can pre-arrange with someone that you found on Facebook to go and hang out with them for the first day whilst you all get settled in. I know I did that. I met up with my flatmate who was on my course, and she'd found someone on Facebook, Izzy, I happen to be living with this year. So it works out in the end. I think it's a really, really good way of kind of breaking the ice. Everyone's in the same position, and talking to people on Facebook who are in the same position like helps so much. It made me so much more relaxed to know that I'd found my flatmates and I had some course friends to go with on the first day, and I wasn't going to be sat on my own in the lecture hall. So yeah, there are my few little tips about how to survive freshers. If you're wanting another video of this style, do let me know in the comments below. I really enjoyed working out what my top tips were for freshers. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you aren't already, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye! Oh my god, look at this one. Look at that! That doesn't even look like me. That is me with a full fringe and straight hair.